Some Republicans actually woke up yesterday and chose violence and demanded an actual vote on the Save America Act, something that we've been denied because cuck, weak, spineless Republicans refuse to actually pass it or even hold a vote. But that ended yesterday with Mike Lee saying this.
The Department of Homeland Security has found tens of thousands of registered non-citizens in the United States. Pursuant to Section 904 of the Congressional Budget Act of 1974, I move to waive all provisions of the applicable budget resolutions. I move to waive all applicable sections of the Act and all applicable budget resolutions for purposes of the pending amendment. And I ask for the yeas and nays.
So this is, of course, a lot of parliamentarian legalese jargon of Mike Lee effectively demanding that everybody vote on the Save America Act. They have some must-pass legislation before them. They want to attach the Save America Act to it and get everyone on the record. And guess what happened? A bunch of traitorous, rhino, coward, deep state, uniparty, Republican cucks sided with Democrats. Let's name them and shame them, shall we? 4 Senate Republicans side with Dems to block voter ID. Their names: Collins, Murkowski, McConnell, and Tillis. You know exactly who they are. Scumbags, all of them. Filthy, dirty, corrupt, evil, gerontocracy. And we say that because everybody in this list is in their 70s or 80s. They've already gotten their payouts from China or Qatar or Israel or Ukraine or Saudi Arabia or wherever. Their families are good. Their legacies are set. They need the country to burn. They don't care. They're getting paid in order to stop the legislation that 90% of America agrees on. They're evil, and they use fraud in order to win their seats. That's just a fact. Here we go. Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, Tom Tillis of North Carolina, and Mitch McConnell, obviously, joined Democrats to strike down the Save America Act. They were trying to attach it to a must-pass bill. Let's go ahead and look. The White House, of course, obviously, banging down the door. Voters must show ID. Voters must show proof of citizenship. No mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, or military or travel. No men and women sports. No transgender mutilation of our children. These are the losers, ladies and gentlemen. The Senate killed the Save America Act, 48-50. There are 53 Republicans. They refused to vote. Now, Democrats did steal Senate seats in Georgia, both of them. In Arizona, both of them. One in Nevada, one in Michigan, one in Wisconsin. That would be 60 Republicans right there. That's 7 more Republicans. You would have a filibuster-proof Republican majority. But because Democrat election theft continues apace, as it is happening in California right now, Republicans just love it. They love watching what's happening in California. They won't do anything to stop it. This is made all the more embittering to people watching because they're witnessing what happens when you have no voter ID. Here's how it works in California. And we've broken this down a million times. You can go check the Secretary of State's website. Anyone can register to vote from anywhere. They don't check if you're a citizen. They don't check who you are. It doesn't matter. You just register to vote. Do you live in another state? Are you a criminal alien? Are you a homeless person? Well, if you're a homeless person, you can register from anywhere. Secretary of State says you can register under a bridge. You can register from a parking lot. You can register from a tree. You can register from a dumpster. You can register from a public park. It says that directly on the state's website. So anybody can register from anywhere. They'll send you a ballot. And then what happens? You don't need signature verification. You don't need to return the ballot in person. You can drop the ballot off. Anybody can drop the ballot off for you. You could drop off a bag full of ballots. If you walked into a California voting location with a trash bag filled with ballots, no names, no addresses, unsigned, they'll count them all. That's how it works in California. That's how rigged the system is. It's third world. Vote them out, says Elon Musk. Everybody's so angry about it. Senate could stop these practices right now by passing the SAVE Act, but they won't. 84% of America supports requiring ID to vote. Every major democracy in the world does it except for the United States. Even under our very eyes, mail-in ballots in California, highly suspicious and slanted towards one party, and the majority can't push this through. Traitorous incompetence. Common sense election integrity bill, Save America Act, dead on the floor, couldn't even crack a simple majority from a Republican-run Senate. 4 GOP senators killed it. If the majority can't pass it, then should we even have the majority? Such a great point. And why is John Thune the leader if he can't bring, all these people are retiring. So Collins is running again. Murkowski had better retire, but we'll see what she does in 28. Retiring and retiring. So you couldn't, it's John Thune's job. You couldn't just get these two retiring guys to vote for it. You couldn't bring them forward, something for their legacies or whatever. Name a chair after them in the Senate. I don't care. This just shows weakness from John Thune, and it's enraging, again, for all of us watching. The United States has no mechanism to ensure that only citizens vote. The United States does not have real elections. 80% of American public supports the SAVE Act. The majority of the Senate rejected it. Look at this. Mitch McConnell zoinking out, falling over, collapsing, incapable of even speaking when he's put on camera. He's literally falling on his face in the Senate, yet we still allow him to vote. It shouldn't be legal. Term limits now. Term limits now. If you've been in D.C. for this long, you've just been corrupted, and that's exactly what's happening. There are interests that are delivering bags of cash to Mitch McConnell's doorstep. He doesn't know that they're there, but his wife does. His wife has dirty, dirty connections. Her entire family, dirty, dirty connections. And they take the bags of cash, and then they vote for Mitch McConnell a specific way. It's corruption. It's in your face. Can you remember the last time America agreed on anything like this? 83%. In today's America, support for something is insane. But they couldn't do it. Feckless, weak leadership in the U.S. Senate. I dare anybody polling on the SAVE Act, these 4 Republican districts, they didn't oppose it on behalf of their constituents. They opposed it on behalf of their uniparty colleagues in the deep state and swamp. That's exactly right. Terrible. So, something very interesting. They tried again with some amendment, and Susan Collins flipped and voted for it. So that got it 50 votes, and that means that J.D. Vance could come in as a tiebreaker and actually pass it into law if the Senate got rid of the filibuster. It wouldn't even be close to 60, obviously, but you could get rid of the filibuster, and then you could actually vote for this, and you'd win. You would need J.D. Vance to come in and tie-break vote, but they were able to finally get it. 51 votes on the Save America Act during today's budget reconciliation of Votorama. That means that the zombie filibuster, the House-passed Save America Act, would now be on its way to the President Trump's desk for a signature. If only. By the way, the reason why people like Lisa Murkowski vote against the Save America Act is because they win by fraud. Lisa Murkowski won in a corrupt write-in campaign after she got her butt kicked by a Tea Party candidate. She lost the Republican primary. She won in a corrupt write-in campaign funded by John Cornyn, where they were sued for voter fraud. They go up to these Eskimo villages and do the same thing they're doing in California. These Eskimo villages are like the homeless camps of Alaska. And Lisa Murkowski shamelessly went and ran as a write-in, and they corruptly hoovered up all of these very, very sketchy votes for her. Anyway, an absolute bombshell of a speech here by Mike Lee. Enough delay, enough distraction, enough excuses. It's time to pass the Save America Act, get rid of the filibuster, and pass it. Here's Mike Lee.
Mr. President, our elections need to be characterized by 2 things. We need to make it easy to vote and hard to cheat. And we need to do that by making sure that people establish their citizenship and therefore their eligibility to vote when they register, and that they show who they are when they show up on election day. This isn't hard. This isn't unusual. Every country in the entire world, countries you're familiar with, countries you're not, countries as wide-ranging as Mexico, Brazil, India, Argentina, Peru, Botswana, Burundi, they all have voter ID requirements. We do not. We do not want to leave this amount of power sitting on the table so that foreign powers can send forth people who are not eligible to vote in this country and vote anyway. We need to do this. The House of Representatives has passed the Save America Act. We now have the opportunity to vote on that same bill, the Save America Act here. This bill, Mr. President, will disenfranchise no one. It will make us all more free. It will protect the sanctity, the dignity of your vote when we allow people who are not allowed to vote, we rob Americans of their vote. Let's make it easy to vote, hard to cheat. Let's pass this bill.